Welcome back to this very special series titled Success Exposed, the 10 X Factors superachievers use to multiply their results and dominate their markets. The 9 X Factors superachievers use that we've covered thus far are relentless drive, supersized thinking, massive leverage, maniacal focus, they F up a lot, constant pursuit for better, steadfast consistency, a power tribe, and a consummate learner. And X Factor number 10 is they have unshakable resolve. Too many people hope to be successful. They wish and pray to be successful. They dream and fantasize and yearn for success. Resolve is turning your wants, your coulds, and your shoulds into have-tos and musts. I will do it or I will die trying. There is no other option. Where does this level of determination come from? Well, people are either motivated by something they want or something that they don't want. Love is a powerful motivating force, but so is hate. Contrary to social correctness, it can be good to hate. To hate disease, to hate injustice, to hate ignorance, to hate complacency, and so on. Sometimes identifying what boils your blood is what ignites the beast mode in you. Some of my greatest motivation, determination, and dogged persistence came when I had an enemy to fight. In history, the most transformational stories and political revolutions came about as a result of fighting an enemy. David had Goliath. America had the British. Luke had Darth Vader. Rocky had Apollo Creed. Young people have the man. Reagan had the Russians. Bush had Bin Laden. Trump had birth certificates and Hillary and the swamp and fake news, etc. Apple had IBM and then Microsoft and then Dell. We could go on and on. You get the point. Enemies give us a reason to stand tall with courage. Having to fight challenges your skills, your character, and your resolve. Often those who go on to achieve extraordinary things found their resolves from a less than noble motive, like wanting to get back at the person who said they'd never amount to anything, or to prove the naysayers wrong, or to beat the competition, or to one-up a sibling who always dominated them as a child. But really, it doesn't matter what the motivation is, as long as it is legal and moral. You don't have to be motivated for great humanitarian reasons. What matters is that you feel fully motivated. Sometimes that motivation can help you turn a profoundly negative emotion or experience into a profoundly positive and successful end. I've probably told you before about the high school English teacher who told me I had no talent for writing. I probably wouldn't have resolved so firmly to prove her wrong by becoming a New York Times bestselling author several times over if she hadn't. My business career was set on fire when my stepmother said, sitting at her kitchen table, "You'll be back in real estate as a business. There's nowhere else you can go and make this kind of money." That was all I needed to hear to cement my resolve. I thank her for that to this day. I probably would not have worked so hard, so long, and so persistently without that fire that she ignited in me at that kitchen table. Oscar-winning actor Sidney Poitier said his resolve was cemented during his first audition when the casting director said to him, "Why don't you stop wasting people's time and go out and become a dishwasher or something?" That was it. It was Jimmy Denny, the manager of the Grand Ole Opry, that gave Elvis Presley his resolve when he fired him after his first performance, saying, "You ain't going nowhere, son. You ought to go back to driving a truck." That's all Elvis needed to hear. And what lit up the Big O was when Oprah was fired from her first position on primetime TV and was told, quote, "unfit for television news." Oh man, I bet Donahue and many others had wished somebody had never said that to the Big O. Her resolve was cemented. And Frank Sinatra said, "The best revenge is massive success." So instead of trying to reject the words people tell you about what you can or cannot do, I want you to absorb them. Let them boil your blood. Let their words harden your resolve. Then plot, scheme, and take unrelenting action to prove those SOBs wrong. It is fantastic motivation, and once you got it, then I turn you over to my late great mentor, Paul J. Meyer, to tell you what to do next.
I tell them 90% of all failure comes from quitting. I've met so many people in business, they would just turn one more corner or wait one more day, they'd have it. Or like the famous story about the person was digging in a gold mine and gave up, and somebody bought the gold mine for $5. He dug 3 feet further and he hit gold. Well, that's the way it is. I do know this. If you get an idea, Darren, if you get an idea or a visualization that our Creator put in your head, I don't think He would mock us and make a fool out of us. If you get the idea, you're able to put the wheels under it, make it roll, and wings on it, and make it fly. And if you need the money, you get the money. If you need the ideas, you get the ideas. If you need the people, you get the people. The whole secret is do not give up. Do not give up. Never, 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 never quit.
And to finish up this fantastic series with you, I want to bring in one of my all-time favorite excerpts from any interview I ever conducted, and this was with the late, great Louis Zamperini. For those unfamiliar with Louis, he was an Olympic distance runner competing in the 1936 Olympic Games, which was presided over by Hitler. Louis was a bombardier in the Pacific Theater during World War II. Louis' Green Hornet was shot down over the Pacific Ocean, where he survived on a life raft for 47 days, only to be captured by the Japanese and brutally beaten, tormented, and tortured to try to get him to break to speak against the United States for propaganda purposes. Louis never broke. He was the subject of Laura Hillebrand's book and Angelina Jolie's movie titled Unbroken. When I asked Louis my final question in our interview, his answer was like a headbutt to my chest, one that I'll never forget. I asked Louis, what advice would you give somebody from this generation in whatever circumstance they're facing and for whatever reason they are feeling like giving up? This is what he said, with a fierce stare that could burrow a hole right through you. He was 94 years old at the time. Let's listen.
Well, if they feel like giving up, then they don't have any respect for themselves. My theory is, and I've proven it over and over again, when you want to overcome anything, you have to be fully committed to it and then overcome it. And when you overcome it, as I said before, my motto is be hardy. And the more you overcome adversity, the more and more hardy you become. But if for self-respect, yes, I don't see how anybody can back off from a challenge. Take the challenge, whether you win it or not. You'll learn by it, and you'll expand by it, and you'll become more hardy by it.
Ah, man, there it is. If they feel like giving up, they don't have any respect for themselves. I don't see how anybody can back off from a challenge. Take the challenge, win or lose. You'll learn by it, and you'll expand by it, and you'll become more hardy because of it. Well, hell, I couldn't agree more. We all need to be more hardy. It has a particular ring to it. So I challenge you, resolve right now that this is it. Stop making wishes and just state what you will do. No matter what, draw that proverbial line in the sand and then shut the front door. Never go back there again, lock the door, and don't look back. Resolve that this is it. Only look forward. The new you starts right now. The one you were supposed to be. The old you is over. All the old excuses are gone. Your old stories, the end. Decide right now to never settle for less again. Resolve to become all that you can become with all that you have been given. Will it be hard? Will it be painful? Yes. But here's what's really hard. Here's the greatest pain that you can ever experience. To your spirit, to your inner potential, and to the Creator that bestowed in you all your great gifts, knowing that you are not doing all you can with all you have been given. That you could have, but didn't. That the hand was reached out to you, but you didn't even bother to reach up to grab it. And you wasted it, your gifts, your full potential, the helping hand. That is what's painful. You see, I exist to be a guide for those who choose to be the exception. Thank you for joining me on this extraordinary adventure. I appreciate having you with me.
Wow, this 10-part series on the X Factors to Super Success has been amazing. Am I right? Now, I know you know that every Darren Daily expires in 72 hours. So I hope that you've been listening over on Darren Daily On Demand. If not, what are you waiting for? Click the link below for your favorite podcast platform to listen to the whole series on repeat if you want. And I'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning for another big idea from Darren.